Can you believe that this bright, beautiful butterfly sometimes hides in plain sight? How does that happen? Well, we're going to talk about it today. Today we are talking about swallowtail butterflies, named for their similarity to the swallow, of course. Those nice long little tails at the base of their body, of their wings. And we are going to talk about the parsley family. We are doing Pollinator Week, and my name is Amy Landers. I'm with Gardens That Matter, where we help families create beautiful, bountiful gardens together. Do you have swallowtail butterflies where you live? Tell me in the comments down below. Even if you're watching this recording, I would love to hear from you. I do come back and read these comments, and I can answer any questions that you have as well. So, Pollinator Week. We've actually been having Pollinator 2 weeks because pollinators are so important in our garden. And each day we have highlighted a pollinator and a plant that pairs well with it. Things we can grow in our gardens to encourage pollinators. And today we are talking about the parsley family. And swallowtails and parsley are a great example of how gardening for butterflies, gardening for pollinators can fit right in to our vegetable gardens and our herb gardens. So we'll talk more about the plants in a few minutes, but first let's talk about this butterfly and how it hides in plain sight. I mean, this is a bright yellow tiger swallowtail, right? Like, that seems impossible to hide. Well, let me show you how it hides. Whoops. Would you believe, so I'm enlisting Nana's iPad, that this is a butterfly hiding? Again, it's a nice dark butterfly. It's a big butterfly. The swallowtail family includes some of the biggest butterflies, both in North America, the giant swallowtail, and in the world, the bird-winged butterflies are part of this swallowtail family. But this one is, it's fairly normal size. It's a large butterfly. But this one is hiding. So I saw this butterfly. It was in our sandbox, and I thought, oh, yes, a black swallowtail, because black swallowtails feed on parsley, one of the plants we're talking about today. And I thought that'll be perfect. We've got a bunch of plants it can eat, the caterpillars can eat. Then I started to look into it a little bit more. Here's a closer look at that beautiful head with that long proboscis for drinking out of flowers, and those antennae. You know it's a butterfly because it has, well, this one we know is a butterfly, right? Obviously. But we know this one is also a butterfly because of those club-like antennas. They look like a club. If it was a moth, they would have either straight antennas or furry antennas. But we know this one is a butterfly, and I was thinking it was a black swallowtail until I started looking more closely. So here is a picture of a black swallowtail. And I want you to notice the little black dot in the middle of the orange spot on its back wing, on its hind wing. And then let's go back to ours. So many pictures. And if we look closely, no black dot. This is not a black swallowtail. What in the world is it? Well, it turns out this is the dark morph of that tiger swallowtail. This is the dark morph. So see, same pattern on the back wings. The blue with the orange there. And then there's the dark morph. It only happens in females. And this is a mimicry. So this butterfly is mimicking other swallowtail butterflies. Namely, most likely the benefit comes because this is a similar look of the pipevine swallowtail. So there's actually 4 species of dark swallowtails in the southeast, at least. And so there's this dark morph of the tiger swallowtail, the black swallowtail, the pipevine swallowtail, and oh, I lost the other one. There's a 4th one. But the key is the pipevine swallowtail eats, as a caterpillar, when it eats plants, it's absorbing from pipevine the toxic chemicals in pipevine, so that if a predator eats a pipevine swallowtail, it will get ill. And so predators learn to not eat that dark swallowtail. And so if you are a black swallowtail or a dark morph of that tiger swallowtail, you are protected as well. So you're hiding because you're pretending you're a look-alike. You're doing mimicry of a caterpillar or a butterfly that is toxic. So the same thing happens with monarch butterflies, right? They are toxic. They will make a predator ill, and the viceroy butterfly mimics it. And so it's a fantastic way that animals have adapted this kind of, the mimicry lets them hide right in plain sight. Now the caterpillars of some swallowtails can also hide in plain sight, but they look a little different. And I don't have a picture of this one. I'm on the lookout for this. But the caterpillars of, for example, spicebush swallowtail look like bird poop. I'll put a link after the video. I'll put that into the comments down below. But they actually look like bird poop. And so it's a great adaptation. There they are hiding in plain sight because they have this great camouflage as bird poop. Now, swallowtail butterflies come in all these different sizes, right? So they're some of the brightest and the biggest butterflies. They are a favorite of gardeners everywhere. That family lives on every continent except for Antarctica. So you can find swallowtail butterflies around the world. And some of those beautiful big tropical butterflies that we think of are in that swallowtail family. Now, you might be very familiar with the swallowtail if you live in one of these states: Virginia, Georgia, Delaware, South Carolina, Oklahoma, or Oregon. Can you guess why? If you live there, you probably know. You can put it in the comments down below. In those 6 states, the state insect is one of the species of swallowtails. They're different species in each state, but those states have chosen the swallowtail to kind of be their representative insect for their state. So what a fun insect to have as your state insect. Do you know what your state insect is? If you don't live in Virginia, Georgia, Delaware, South Carolina, Oklahoma, or Oregon, do you know what your state insect is? That might be a fun future series. We can do state insects around the United States in state insects. So swallowtail butterflies are found across the U.S. Different varieties live in different climates and different regions. And so if you love swallowtail butterflies and you want them in your garden, you'll want to do some research about what the butterflies that live where you live eat. But one of the plants that is a pretty good bet for some sort of caterpillar and some sort of butterfly is the parsley family. So it's actually a whole family of plants. Now, do you know what is in the parsley family? If you've tuned into some of our other videos, you may have some ideas. One of the reasons I love this example of the swallowtail and the parsley is there are a lot of different types of swallowtails, so you can find one that works where you are. And there are a lot of different types of plants in the parsley family. So, do you recognize this one? Put it in the comments if you do, or give me a thumbs up if you recognize this one. So this actually was growing up here. It's very tall. I'll show you this leaf a little more closely, and that's going to be a really good clue, hopefully. All right. This leaf comes from Queen Anne's lace, or wild carrot. The parsley family is the Apiaceae family, or the Umbellicera family. And so umbel comes from this shape of its flower. So it's kind of like an umbrella. It's a stalk with lots of small flowers on the top. And these are great for butterflies to drink out of. They're great for all kinds of other insects to drink out of. There's just a lot of nectar available on these types of flowers. And then the leaves are great food for our caterpillars. So in your garden, if you grow the parsley family, so carrots, Queen Anne's lace, parsley, fennel and dill, and then there are also some natives. So the big one that is just a great plant to add to your garden is called Golden Alexander, Zizia aurea, So golden Alexander, and its leaf looks like parsley, and it has these yellow blooms, nice big umbels with tons of little flowers on it. And it blooms pretty early in the season, and it's a great one to add. So as you're thinking about your garden and the food that you're growing, you can think about if you want to share some of that food with pollinators, right? So you can plant some extra parsley, some extra dill, some extra fennel, knowing that as your habitat improves and as you get more and more wildlife, you're going to be supporting both swallowtail. The black swallowtail is the big one that eats the parsley family. But there's some other like regional butterflies that also eat in this family. But you can grow some extras for those animals, for those insects, excuse me. And then you can also think about adding those natives in, because again, anything that is feeding a specific species of butterfly is usually going to feed other pollinators and other beneficial insects as well. So the other thing I love about this combination, the swallowtail parsley combination, is that it opens up a door for you to be able to bring some of that magic of nature into your home, into the classroom, and watch metamorphosis happen. So the caterpillars, oh, I do have a picture of that here. So this is a great book, Gardening for Butterflies. I know that's backwards, sorry, but in any case, here's this caterpillar up at the top. Look how fabulous he is, or she. And this is a defensive like organ, and it smells really bad, and it goes in their body, and then they take it out. They like shoot it out when they're threatened. So it's called an osmeterium. So that's another defense of this caterpillar. So you can bring these caterpillars into your home, into your classroom, and then you can collect food from your garden. So if you've got that zizia growing, you can go clip leaves off and feed it, and you can watch metamorphosis happen. And this is a great one to do in the classroom or in your home, because if you run out of food in your garden, you know, you can do monarchs and bring monarchs in, but you might run out of milkweed, right? In this case, if you run out of food, you can run to the grocery store and you can buy some parsley to feed your caterpillars. Now, you must make sure that it is organic parsley. If it has been sprayed, you will have a really sad morning the morning after. It hasn't happened to me, but I was reading about a teacher who it happened to, and can you imagine everybody came back in and all the caterpillars were dead because the parsley had been sprayed, but the grower hadn't told the teacher that. So make sure you're buying organic parsley, but you can bring that inside. Go to the grocery store if you run out of food from your garden, and you can continue to raise these butterflies and watch that magic happen in your own home, in your own classroom. Send them to school with your kids in a nice little mesh enclosure. And what fun to get to do that. Now, on Friday evening, Friday, June 9th, we are going to talk about more pollinator gardening. So how do we bring this magic of pollinators into our gardens and then into our homes a little bit? How can we do that? We're going to talk all about that on Friday night. This is a free online workshop, and there's a link to it in the description of this video. You can sign up and you'll get the link to where to attend. There'll be a little worksheet that comes out probably tomorrow, and it will give you, through the workshop, you're going to kind of create this menu of the pieces that you need to create a pollinator paradise in your own yard and really start to see lots and lots of bustling life, bustling with insects and birds, and a really biodiverse space. So it's a lot of fun, and it's totally going to fit into your food garden as well. We're just going to add a little more food for the pollinators, right? So if you have any questions, I would love for you to drop them in below. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me. I appreciate you being here, and until I see you again, happy gardening!